Have you ever felt like you've worked hard, but your money always runs out? Meanwhile, there are people who seem relaxed but get richer and richer. What makes the difference isn't working harder, nor is it because they're smarter. It's because they play by different rules. Rules that most people don't even realize exist. And today, I'm going to reveal 3 financial rules that rich people secretly use. If you start using them now, your life in the next 5 years could be completely different.
Most people are stuck in the same cycle their entire lives. They wake up, go to work, trade their time for money, and repeat. Time to money to expenses to back to zero. And the problem is, no matter how hard they work, they're still limited by one thing: time. You only have 24 hours in a day. You can only work so much, which means your income will always have a ceiling. But rich people don't play that game. They ask a different question. How can I make money without trading my time for it? Instead of depending on active income, they focus on building assets. Assets are things that put money into your pocket, even when you're not working. This could be a business, stocks that pay dividends, rental properties, or even digital products. The key idea is simple: money becomes a worker. Think about it like this. If you had 100 employees working for you 24/7, would you still worry about your salary? That's exactly how rich people think, except their employees are their money. Every dollar they earn has a job, not to be spent immediately, but to be invested, multiplied, and sent back with more. This is what creates leverage, because when money works for you, your income is no longer tied to your effort. You could be sleeping, traveling, or doing nothing at all, and your assets are still producing income in the background. Now compare that to someone who only relies on a job. The moment they stop working, the income stops too. That's the difference. Poor and middle-class individuals focus on earning more. Rich individuals focus on owning more. They don't just chase income, they build systems that generate income. And here's the truth most people ignore. You don't need to be rich to start doing this. You just need to start thinking differently. Instead of asking, what can I buy with this money? Start asking, how can this money make me more money? That single shift in thinking can completely change your financial future. Because the goal is not to work for money forever. The goal is to reach a point where your money works harder than you ever could. And once that happens, everything changes.
They want to get rich in months. They want instant success. They want big returns right now. And because of that, they fall into the same trap over and over again, chasing shortcuts. They jump from one opportunity to another. Crypto today, trading tomorrow, a new business trend next week. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Wealth is not built in weeks, not even in a year. Real wealth is built slowly, then suddenly. Rich people understand this better than anyone. They don't chase quick money. They build lasting wealth. And the secret behind that is one powerful concept: compounding. At the beginning, compounding looks boring. You invest a little, you see small returns. Almost nothing exciting happens. And that's exactly why most people quit. Because humans are wired for instant gratification. We want to see progress immediately. But compounding doesn't work like that. It starts slow, almost invisible. But over time, it grows faster and faster and faster, until one day it explodes. Think about it like planting a tree. In the first year, nothing impressive. Second year, still small. Even after a few years, it doesn't look like much. But underground, the roots are growing strong. And when the time is right, the growth above the surface becomes unstoppable. That's how wealth works. Rich people are patient enough to stay in the game long enough for compounding to do its job. They don't panic when the market drops. They don't get distracted by trends. They stick to a strategy and trust the process, because they know something most people don't. Time is more powerful than effort. You can work extremely hard for 5 years and still struggle financially. But if you invest consistently for 10 to 20 years, the results can be life-changing. And here's the key difference. Poor and middle-class individuals focus on timing the market. Rich individuals focus on time in the market. They don't try to be perfect, they try to be consistent. They understand that missing a few perfect opportunities doesn't matter, but missing time, that costs everything. Because once time is gone, you can't buy it back. So instead of asking, how fast can I get rich? Start asking, how long can I stay consistent? Because in the end, the people who win financially are not the smartest, not the luckiest, but the ones who simply didn't quit too early.
Most people think making money is about knowledge. They believe, if I learn more about investing, I'll succeed. If I understand the market, I'll win. But in reality, knowledge is only a small part of the game. Because when real money is involved, logic disappears and emotions take over. Fear, greed, panic, overconfidence. These emotions silently control financial decisions, and most people don't even realize it. Think about what usually happens. When the market goes down, prices drop, headlines spread fear, people panic. They sell their investments at a loss just to feel safe. And then, when the market starts going up again, when everything looks positive, they come back in. They buy at higher prices. So what's the result? Buy high, sell low. The exact opposite of what actually works. Now look at how rich people behave. They don't react emotionally. They respond strategically. When others panic, they stay calm. When others are greedy, they become cautious. Why? Because they don't rely on feelings. They rely on systems. They have rules. They have a plan. And most importantly, they have discipline. Before they invest a single dollar, they already know when to enter, when to exit, how much risk they're willing to take. So when the market moves, they don't have to guess. They simply follow their system. This is what separates professionals from amateurs. Amateurs make decisions based on how they feel in the moment. Professionals make decisions based on rules they created beforehand. And here's the hard truth. Your biggest enemy in finance is not the market, it's you. Your impulses, your impatience, your need to be right, your fear of losing. These are the things that destroy wealth, again and again. That's why rich people spend just as much time working on their psychology as they do on their strategy. They train themselves to stay calm under pressure. They learn to sit through uncertainty. They accept that losses are part of the process because they understand something powerful. You don't need to win every time to build wealth. You just need to avoid emotional mistakes. One bad emotional decision can wipe out months or even years of progress. So instead of asking, what's the best investment? Start asking, can I stay disciplined when things go wrong? Because in the long run, your success is not determined by how smart you are, but by how well you can control yourself when it matters the most.
Most people think about money in a very simple way. How can I earn more? How can I increase my salary? How can I add a little extra income? And there's nothing wrong with that, but it keeps you stuck in a linear path. You work one more hour, you earn a little more money. You take another job, you increase your income slightly. This is the mindset of addition. And the problem with addition is it's slow. No matter how hard you push, the growth is limited. But rich people don't think in addition, they think in multiplication. Instead of asking, how can I earn more money? They ask, how can I scale what I'm already doing? How can I turn one effort into multiple results? This is where everything changes, because multiplication is not about working harder, it's about building systems that grow beyond you. For example, instead of selling your time one-to-one, you create something once and sell it many times. Instead of serving one client at a time, you build a business that can serve thousands. Instead of relying on one income source, you build multiple streams that grow simultaneously. That's multiplication. It's leverage applied to income. Think about the difference. If you earn $10 per hour,
You can only increase income by working more hours. But if you build something that can be sold 1,000 times, suddenly your income is no longer tied to time. This is why businesses, investments, and scalable systems are at the core of wealth, because they allow exponential growth. And exponential growth looks very different from linear growth. At the beginning, it feels slow, almost like nothing is happening. But over time, the gap becomes massive. Small, consistent efforts, when multiplied, create results that look impossible from the outside. This is why some people seem to suddenly succeed, but in reality, they were building multiplication systems all along, while others were stuck adding small gains. Here's another key difference. Poor and middle-class individuals focus on effort. Rich individuals focus on impact. They don't ask, how hard am I working? They ask, how much results does this effort produce? Because one smart system can outperform years of hard work. And here's the mindset shift you need. Stop thinking like a worker. Start thinking like a builder. Instead of asking, what can I do today to earn money? Ask, what can I build today that keeps earning tomorrow? Because the goal is not to keep adding income forever. The goal is to create something that multiplies even when you're not there. And once you understand that difference, you stop chasing income and start creating engines of income.
This is probably the hardest rule to follow, but also the most powerful, because it goes against human nature. Most people want to enjoy the reward now. You get paid, and the first instinct is to spend. Buy something new, upgrade your lifestyle, reward yourself for working hard. And again, there's nothing wrong with enjoying your money. But here's the problem. If every reward is taken immediately, nothing is left to grow. Rich people think differently. They don't just ask, what do I want right now? They ask, what do I want the most in the long term? And that question changes everything, because it forces them to make trade-offs. Instead of instant pleasure, they choose future freedom. Instead of looking rich today, they focus on being rich later. This is called delayed gratification, and it's one of the strongest predictors of financial success. Think about it like this. Every time you earn money, you have two choices: spend it or invest it. One gives you temporary satisfaction, the other gives you long-term growth. Most people choose the first option again and again, and over time, those small decisions compound into a lifestyle where they are always working, but never truly free. Rich people flip that pattern. They are willing to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term independence. They live below their means. They avoid unnecessary upgrades. They stay patient even when they can afford more. And because of that, they build something most people never achieve: control over their time. Because at the end of the day, money is not just about buying things, it's about buying freedom. Freedom to choose how you spend your day, freedom to walk away from things you don't enjoy, freedom to live life on your own terms. But that kind of freedom requires discipline today. It requires saying no when everyone else is saying yes. It requires ignoring social pressure and focusing on your own path. And yes, it's not easy. There will be moments where it feels like you're missing out, where others seem to be enjoying life more than you. But what you don't see is the long-term consequence of those choices. Because while they're consuming, you're building. While they're upgrading, you're investing. And over time, that gap becomes impossible to ignore. Here's the truth. You can have almost anything you want, but not everything at the same time. So the real question is, do you want a life that looks good now, or a life that feels good forever? Because the people who win financially are not the ones who earn the most, but the ones who can wait the longest. And once you master that, you're no longer controlled by money. You're in control of your future.
So now you see it clearly. The difference between people who struggle financially and those who build real wealth. It's not luck, it's not talent, and it's definitely not about working harder than everyone else. It's about playing by a different set of rules. They make money work for them. They think long term. They control their emotions. They focus on multiplication, and they're willing to delay gratification. Simple ideas, but not easy to follow. And that's exactly why most people never apply them. But here's the good news. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need a lot of money to start. You just need to start thinking differently and take action. Because one small shift today can completely change your financial future tomorrow. Now, if this video gave you a new perspective, if it helped you see money, discipline, and wealth in a different way, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Because on this channel, we don't just talk about making money. We talk about building a mindset that creates lasting wealth and real freedom. And for those of you who have already subscribed, I truly appreciate you. I pray that your income continues to grow, that your financial burdens are lifted, that your debts are paid off one by one, and that you achieve the freedom you've been working for. Stay consistent, stay disciplined, and I'll see you in the next video.